Hello again, and welcome now to Lean Operations Part 2, where we're going to continue from the Part 1 episode. Just in time layout requires that you reduce waste due to movement. You build work cells for families of products and include a large number of operations in a small area, minimize the distance in between, have little space for inventory so the inventory doesn't clutter up the floor. Improve your employee communication, use poke-yoke devices, and cross-train your workers to add flexibility. Layout tactics reduce the distance. Large lots and long production lines are replaced by smaller, flexible cells, changed often to U-shape for shorter paths and improved communication. A U-shape meaning that it goes in a curve instead of a straight line. Increased flexibility, cells are designed to be altered as volume or designs change. So when a design change comes, you want to be able to make that quickly adapt to your process. Employee impact. Employees that are cross-trained are more flexible and efficient. With improved communications and little or no inventory buffer, getting it the first time correctly is critical. Reduce space and inventory. With reduced space, inventory must be in very small lots. Units are always moving because there is no storage. And that will introduce the reason for Kanban cards, which we're going to talk about towards the end here. Reduce your lot sizes. Elimination of waste by reducing investment inventory. The more inventory you have sitting around in your facility, the more money you have tied up. So you're better to get the inventory just as you need it for your production needs. Inventory is at the minimum level necessary to keep your operations running. Reduces setup time. You're performing to a schedule. You're delivering directly to the point of use. And you're using a pull system to move the inventory. Fact. Frequent orders reduce average inventory. A lower order size increases the number of orders and a total in the ordering cost. However, it reduces the average inventory and your cost of holding that inventory. High setup costs encourage large lot sizes. So if you have a large lot size, you may have to have a higher setup. Reducing setup costs reduces lot sizes and reduces average inventory, so setup time can be reduced through SMEDS. SMEDS is single minute exchange of dies. It encourages making smaller batch runs, saves time and reduces employee idle time, and increases flexibility to change over product lines. SMEDS is merely a process of defining how quickly you can change over from one product to the next. So you can see here that the initial setup time might have been 90 minutes, but through using SMEDS, moving material closer, improving your tooling and your setup tools, you can reduce your setup time to maybe anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes versus 60 to 90. JIT pull systems. The old style of manufacturing is the push system. Work is pushed on to the next station as it is completed. So we're just producing because we can produce a lot. A pull system is a workstation that pulls output from the preceding workstation only as it's needed. The output of the final operation is pulled by customer demand or the master schedule. In other words, we aren't making anything more than what we need to send to the customer. Now, granted, pull systems are not appropriate for all operations. If there's a large variation in volume, product mix, or product design, the pull system will undermine that system. JIT scheduling, you want to communicate your schedules to suppliers. Make level schedules. Perform to that schedule. Don't make more than what's needed. Seek one piece make and one piece move. Eliminate your waste. Produce in smaller lots. Use Kanbans. And make each operation produce a perfect part, thus reducing rework, reducing defects, and improving your bottom line. So what is level scheduling? Scheduling production products so that each day's production meets the demand for that day only. So if you know you have to produce 500 units a week, you should not have to produce more than 100 a day. Process frequent small batches rather than a few large batches. Make and move small lots so the level schedule is economical. Freezing the schedule closest to the due dates can improve your performance. So when scheduling small lots, you can see below the typical way was large lot approach. All right, we got to make a bunch of product A, so we'll just produce it all at once right now, which ties up inventory, sets up more work in progress sitting around your facility, and then in the bottom line, you're tying up your money. Using a just-in-time level match means you're only going to produce 2 batches of A, 3 batches of B, so on and so forth. But you'll notice that you're producing A's again at a later date in the week rather than producing a bunch and tying up your inventory. The Kanban. What is it? Well, the Japanese word for card, which means it's a signal. Kanban system means moving parts through a production via a pull from a signal. So, as the final stage or step in the process needs more parts, those Kanban cards help pull the inventory over so they can produce what's needed. And it follows that way all the way on down the line to the beginning. The card is an authorization for the next container of material to be produced. A sequence of Kanbans pull materials through the entire process from the beginning where raw materials are stored down to the final production stage. So you can see there's X amount of containers sitting on the floor with part numbers on them. The signal marker hanging on a post shows that that production start for that part, and those containers are pulled as needed from inventory. So basically, it starts at the materials parts supplier, who sends parts to your facility, which gets pulled over to the work cells, gets pulled over to final assembly, gets pulled over to finished goods and quality for inspection, and then out the door to your customer, not producing more than what your customer needs on a weekly basis. So you need to know the lead time needed to produce 1 container of parts, and you need to know the amount of safety stock. Safety stock is making sure you have a little additional product on hand in case there's a defect or the customer makes an increase. So what you do is, how many numbers of Kanbans do you need or containers? You take the demand time during the lead plus safety stock divided by the size of the container. How many parts are in that container box? An example, the daily demand is 500 cakes. Production lead time is 2 days. We need a half a day safety stock, and the container size is 250 cakes per container. So we have 2 days times 500 cakes, which equals 1,000. So we're going to take the 1,000 plus our safety stock of 250, divide that by how many parts are in the container, which is 250, and you'll see that there should be 5 Kanban cards. Strong relationship between just-in-time and quality. JIT cuts the cost of obtaining good quality because it exposes poor quality due to smaller lots received. Because lead times are shorter, any quality problems that come up are exposed sooner and can be corrected faster. So, quality tactics: use statistical process control, empower your employees so they're responsible for their products they produce, build all kinds of fail-safe methods such as checklists and poka-yokes, expose your poor quality with smaller lots, and provide immediate feedback. The Toyota production system is built on continuous improvement, building an organizational culture and value system that stresses the improvement of all processes. And you make it part of everybody's job. Empowerment. Respect for people. Toyota has a great respect for people because they're treated as knowledge workers. They engage mental and physical capabilities, and by empowering them, the employees take more responsibility for what they do. Standard work practice. Work should be completely specified as to contents, the sequence of operations, the timing, and what the outcome expected is. Internal and external customer-supplier connections are direct. Product and service flows must be simple and direct. And for lean operations, it's different from JIT in that it is externally focused on the customer. Starts with understanding what the customer wants, what they expect, what are the specifications, what is the quality level that is wanted. You optimize the entire process from the customer's perspective. So when you're building a lean organization, it can be difficult. It requires making a complete change, and you have to do so in little steps. Lean systems tend to have the following attributes. They use just-in-time techniques. They build systems that help employees produce perfect parts every time with no defects. It reduces your space requirements, and it focuses entirely on satisfying the customer. You want to develop partnerships with your suppliers. Educate your suppliers. Eliminate all the activities that are not value added. Develop your employees. Train them. Make them empowered. Make jobs challenging. Build worker flexibility. Now, JIT also works in the service industry. For instance, a hospital. And again, you're still working with suppliers, layouts, inventory, and scheduling. In service, the focus is often on the time needed to perform the service because speed is often the order winner. Lean benefits can be achieved in the following ways. Eliminate disruptions, make your system more flexible, reduce the setup and lead times, definitely eliminate waste, minimize all your work in process, and simplify the process. Okay, so that does it for part 2 here. Hopefully you did see part 1 of lean operations, and we will have some more quality topics coming up soon. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.